Hello and welcome to The Art of Reflection by Megan Jenkins, Deputy Head of Careers and Employability.
And Amy, journalism graduate.
Throughout your career journey, we want you to learn how to become a reflective practitioner, and you will develop this skill a lot as you work through these courses and as you progress through your degree. Reflection is so important. If you crack this now, this is an attribute you can take with you for your whole life, both professionally and personally. This video will show you the fundamentals of how to develop this graduate attribute. So to begin with, what is reflection? Well, in its simplest form, it's looking in the mirror and thinking about what you see. But the Oxford English Dictionary describes it as a process of serious thought or consideration. If you put these two together, we have a good explanation of what reflection means in an employability sense. Looking at your actions and seriously considering these actions. The final third involves thinking about how what has happened can be used to improve future outcomes of events. The value of reflection is recognised worldwide. You'll use it in some form or another throughout your whole career. And as is often the case in learning, there have been several academic models that demonstrate this. The model we recommend you use is Professor Gibbs' reflective cycle. This cycle has 6 stages. Stage 1, description, what happened. Stage 2, feelings, what were your reactions and feelings. Stage 3, evaluation, what was good or bad about the experience. Stage 4, analysis, what sense can you make of the situation? And you can bring in ideas from outside the experience to help you here. Stage 5, conclusion. And then stage 6 is action planning. What are you going to do differently in this type of situation next time? So let's use Amy's real life example here to demonstrate.
So for part of my uni course, I had to do a 10-minute presentation about a module we had studied. It was in front of the class and in front of my professor, and it didn't go as planned, and I really messed it up. I stumbled over my words, I forgot my terminology, and my presentation slides moved on too quickly for me to keep up with them. I was terrified to speak in front of people who went to lectures with me every day, in front of people who knew me, and my professor who was marking the work for my final grade. Now I knew I was messing up. I started to panic even more. I got through it, but it was a disaster. I'd worked so hard to put this presentation together, but in that 10 minutes it looked like I had made no effort. I started off well, but then I saw a friend of mine in the front row and it really put me off. Other things that went well is that I had used the full 10 minutes and all the material I had covered was covered by others, so I knew I was going along the right lines. But on the downside, the overall delivery wasn't what I had hoped for. The panic I had felt had made my speech jumbled and my thought patterns jumbled as well. My professor commented on it afterwards, and what he said wasn't the feedback I hoped I would get. My planning, research and preparation got me through, but what had hindered me on the day were my nerves. My conclusion is that if I had got a handle on my nerves and not panicked so much, that I would have done a lot better. Next time, I will put in as much effort into my practice as I did with my planning. I will ask my housemates if I can practice out loud in front of them so that I can get used to talking in front of people. Also, I am going to do a presentation skills course in the SU.
Thanks, Amy. So that's an example of Gibbs' cycle in practice. You should use the same process to reflect on events as you proceed through this online platform and throughout your whole university career. So now it's over to you. But here are some points to remember. Reflection is not just description. You need to get inside the events and think about what happened and why it happened. It's a personal account. It's about you and what you have learned.
Reflection isn't always a comfortable process. In fact, reflection is really easy to avoid. But don't avoid it. It's not experience that makes you learn, it's thinking about the experience.
In this module, you'll be able to download a reflective template to help you learn this skill. You can save this to your portfolio and use it throughout your career journey. Good luck and happy reflecting!